Today I'm going to show you how to add dark mode to your TanStack Start application. First mode that you have is the light mode, and then you have dark mode, and we also have system mode. And the system mode just follows the theme of the user's device. So if I toggle dark mode on my laptop, this is going to turn on the dark mode as well. And one cool thing about this is that even if the user reloads the page, then the theme is applied directly. There is no flickering, and the theme is also saved throughout sessions. So if the user exits the page and reopens it, the same theme is going to be applied again. So in order to save and read the current theme of the user, both on the server and on the client, to avoid this flickering, we're going to be saving the theme or the selected theme in the user cookies. For that, let's create a file called theme.ts and go ahead and import create server function, as well as get cookie and set cookie from TanStack Start. We're also going to need to import Zod, and we're going to use this right away for input validation. And let's go ahead and define a storage key. This is the name of the cookie that we're going to be reading and writing to. And I just call this app theme. You can call this whatever you want, obviously. And let's create a function called get theme server function. And this function is simply gonna call get cookie with the storage key that we have just defined. In order to save the theme, we're going to start by defining a schema for the theme. And this is either light, dark, or auto. And then we can create a new function. This is also a server function. And let's just call this set theme server function. And here we're going to pass in this input validator. And what this does is that when the function is called, the input is going to be validated on the back end. So the user cannot just pass in any value, and only the values that we have defined are going to be accepted. Then inside the handler, we can set the cookie. It's pretty straightforward. We just get the data from the user, and combined with the storage key, we can save the cookie. And that's all we need to read and save the theme. Let's go ahead and use it in the application. So let's go ahead and open the root file. And inside of here, we can simply import the get theme server function that we just defined. And then we can pass it to before load. So the data that we pass in before load is going to be added to the app context, which means that we can get access to the data everywhere inside of the application. And here, for example, in the root document, we're also going to read this data simply by calling route.useRouteContext. And inside of it, we're going to have our theme. And in order to apply the styles globally, we're simply going to pass it as a class to the HTML. Now let's go ahead and create a button to change the theme. So let's get started by importing a button. And here I'm just using the one that comes from ShadCN, but you can also use your own button component if you already have one. And for this example, I'm also just gonna place it absolutely on the top right. I'm also gonna add an area label just to make it a bit accessible. Now let's go ahead and read the theme value because we're gonna need it to display an icon for the user. For this, we're gonna import useRouteContext from TanStack Start, and then we can use it inside the button component to read the theme. And as you can see here, there's a small difference than the call that we made in the root layout. Since we don't have access to the route element, you can simply provide a from attribute. And here we just define from root, and then we get access to this theme. And this is, by the way, all type safe. Now that we have the theme, we can show an icon. So if we have a dark theme, we can show a moon icon. If we have a light theme, we can show a sun icon. Otherwise, we're going to show this monitor just for the auto theme. Let's go ahead and also import these icons from Lucid React. Now, when the user clicks the button, we should also handle that. So let's create a function called toggle theme. And inside of this function, we can have our themes array that we can combine with the current theme to figure out what is the next theme that needs to be set. And for that, we can simply call the function that we created before, set theme server function, with this next theme. And let's go ahead and also add this missing import. And since we're at it, let's go ahead and also import use router. And this is going to give you access to the router instance. You're probably wondering why. Well, there's a simple reason for that. Now that we have modified data inside the context, we need to invalidate the context to tell TanStack Start, hey, you need to actually reload the data inside the context. So for that, let's just use this use router to get access to the router. And inside of toggle theme, we can invalidate the router after setting the theme. So that's all that you need to save and read the theme. Let's go ahead and read this data in CSS to style the application. So inside your app.css file, you can simply react to the changes in the class names to apply your theme. If you are using TailwindCSS, then you can adjust this custom variant class to react to the dark theme, as well as to the auto theme using this media query prefers color scheme dark. And once you have that, you can simply style your application. For example, you can set the default background to white and the default foreground to black. And then in the dark mode, you can simply switch them. And you can do the same thing if the theme is auto and the user's device is in dark mode. If you want to learn about TanStack Start, then you should definitely check out my course, Master TanStack Start. It's available in learntanstack.com. This covers basically everything you need to know about TanStack Start. We really go through all the basics, and it's right now still in the making, but you can join in the waitlist and lock in 20% off at launch. You literally have nothing to lose. You can simply enter your email here in the waitlist, and I'm going to email you once it's out. And if you want to keep up with TanStack Start, I have actually started a newsletter for this, TanStack Weekly. Every week I simply send an issue containing everything that happened inside the TanStack universe. And if you're interested in all TanStack related topics, which I assume because you watched this video till the end, then check out this video, which also happens to be my latest upload. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Ciao.